There we go. See how it goes. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over a 2021 Toyota Tacoma SR. This is truly the base model Tacoma. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Toyota here in Murray for giving me some time with this SR Tacoma. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Now, under the hood of the Tacoma, we have a naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6. It goes through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 278 horsepower and then 265 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over things on the front end. So first off, this is finished in magnetic gray metallic. First off, with the base model Tacoma, you just get the regular Tacoma hood, and then you do get these halogen projector bulbs up front with the incandescent light for the turn signal. And then just down below, notice that you do not get fog lights or anything like that. You do get the little air dam here to help out with fuel economy on the highway. And then you still get the normal Toyota logo, all that kind of stuff. But other than that, things are pretty simple. But I mean, for being like a base model truck and kind of like, you know, almost like the work truck package, I think it still looks good from the front end. Coming around the side here, we've got two 45mm tires wrapped around 16-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then this is where you can really tell that this is a base model truck from kind of like the design and the look of the wheels. They definitely, you know, look like base wheels. And then coming a little bit closer, you guys can see kind of tread pattern there on the tire, and then a little bit here with the front suspension on this SR Tacoma. And then notice that they still make the mirrors body colored, so that looks pretty good. And then the door handles are also body colored. At least they didn't cheap out and just use like black plastic like what some manufacturers use. But there is your full side view. Now let's actually pop into the bed of the Tacoma. So first off, it already has the liner in it, which I think is really nice that they have this. I mean, it's just as good as like the spray and liners what they have here, in my opinion, when they do it from the factory like what this has. And I think it's crazy that this truck is really inexpensive and it has the bed already protected, but you can buy a brand new $70,000 truck from some other manufacturers and they won't even give you protection like this or a liner or anything, which is crazy. And then if you guys are wondering, payload is about 990 pounds. Over the rest of the rear of the Tacoma, the thing I think is pretty interesting is you actually do get the little LED cargo lights there at the top again, even though this is a base model. I think the taillights, again, for like a baseline truck, look really good. And then you got all your regular badging and everything all with the emblems right there. Towing capacity is a little bit over 6,000 pounds with this V6, and you got the exhaust tip sticking out the side. But other than that, I mean, I think it's a pretty good looking truck from the back end. Like I said, I think the only thing I'd change with this truck is just the wheels. Everything else, though, for a baseline truck looks good from the exterior perspective. Popping here into the rear, this is the door panel in the Tacoma, so you actually get nice soft touch where you're going to rest your arm, which that's a nice little feature to get. And you get your window controls. Yes, it has automatic windows, and then you do get these cloth seats. As for the seats themselves, they definitely look really durable. As for the feel, it's kind of like in between. It's not the softest cloth, but it's not really rough like you see in some baseline trucks. But let's actually pop in. So stepping in, if I step in height, it's actually pretty easy to get in. It's not too super high off the ground. And then if I sit all the way up, my hair's kind of tall, so it does make it look a little bit worse than it is. I'm 5'11". I do have a decent amount of headroom. And then legroom's a little bit more on the cramped side, but I mean, it's kind of expected with a smaller size truck like this. We do have a couple of cup holders right there. And other than that, here's the back of the SR. Now here's the front door panel in the SR Tacoma. So again, they do the soft touch right here where you're gonna rest your arm, which is just a nice little thing to have. And then we've got all of our window controls. You've got your mirror adjustments, your door lock and unlock, nothing too crazy there. And then here are the seats at the front. So same materials what's in the rear. The bolsters are a little bit bigger on these seats. This upper bolster is pretty firm. The bottom one's definitely a little bit softer. The seats are manually adjustable. You got the little Tacoma floor mats. And then coming just down below, you can see you've got the full pedal layout right there. We've got our stability control just up above. This is for the little cargo light right there. And then as for the steering wheel, it is manually adjustable. And there's one more look before we actually pop in. Please don't copyright me. Now here's the steering wheel in the Tacoma SR. So I'm not gonna lie, right, the material use on the steering wheel isn't crazy nice or anything like that, but again, it's a base model truck. Down here on this little part of the steering wheel, we've got the controls for the center stack, your pages button. This does have the collision assistance and lane departure assistance, which I think that's pretty neat. And then we do have our voice command, volume controls, phone controls right over here. And then you got the stock for the turn signal and the lights, and then the windshield wiper stock on the other side. And other than that, that's the steering wheel in the Tacoma SR. Other than the truck telling me to refuel it, we do have the gauge cluster here. So you've got RPMs on the left side. On the right side, you've got the speed. And then there in that little center screen, you guys are probably pretty familiar with this. It just gives you a couple different bits of information on the truck. Most modern Toyotas have this. Since this is the base model, it doesn't go crazy into depth, but it at least gives you some information on the truck, especially pertaining to the fuel economy. We've got the center infotainment system here. If we pop it into reverse, we do get a backup camera. Now the trajectory lines do not turn with the steering wheel, they're just stationary, but I feel like resolution on the camera is pretty decent. And then if we pop back to the rest of the infotainment system, you guys are probably, again, familiar with this. This is Toyota's infotainment system. Response time on it's pretty good. You guys can see you press buttons on either the side of the screen or in the screen, and the response time on it is pretty solid. I don't think this one doesn't have navigation, but you can get it upgraded at the dealer. And then also notice the little circular vents on either side. I think that those are pretty cool. You guys know I'm a fan of circular vents. Now coming down below, we do have the climate controls, and this is pretty neat. This does come with dual zone climate, which you rarely see in base model trucks. They usually make you get the more loaded up versions to get that. And then you've got the driveline select, so you've got your 2-wheel drive, your 4-wheel high, and then you push in for your 4-wheel low, and then that's just all part of the climate system. And then I had a couple people tell me in the videos before that this basically just gives you like a little bit of a power boost when you press it. So like if you're trying to pass on the highway and all that. So I guess that's what that little button is for. I mean, I'll press it when I drive it and see if I feel any difference. And then you guys can see over here we've got the little USB, and then we do have a 12-volt as well. Just storage right there, and then a couple cup holders. And then here's the shifter for the 6-speed automatic, and you can shift it yourself if you like. And then here is the traditional brake, and then we've got like another cup holder and some extra storage with some keys for other cars I'm reviewing today. And then you do have the center console, which again, decent amount of storage right there. And then coming over to the glove box, storage is pretty good as well. And then the same materials on the steering wheel is all over like the dash and everything. It's just kind of like that same plasticky textured material. Here is the top. We do have a sunglass holder that like dramatically pops down. Just a traditional mirror. It does have a dimmer built into it, just a manual one. And then you guys can see the full headliner. If you are wondering, there is a operable rear window, but it is manual, so there's no button. You have to just go open it with your hands. Now that we're done going to the interior on this SR Tacoma, let's quickly get into the pricing. So in terms of pricing, this SR Tacoma, with all the options it has, stickers for about $33,000, almost $34,000, which I feel like it's a really good value. It has 4-wheel drive. It tows about 6,000 pounds. It has about 1,000 pounds of payload capacity. You can carry people in the back with it, and it's got some safety tech and dual zone climate. Like, I don't know, I think this is a good value. But that all being said, let's take this base model Tacoma out and see how it drives. There we go. Let's talk about visibility before we set off here in this SR Tacoma. So first off, visibility of the hood, it's identical to any other Tacoma unless you get like a Sport or a TRD Pro that has the raised hood and everything. And then there's your visibility through both of the mirrors, and then here's all throughout the rest of the rear. So again, visibility is just like any other Tacoma, and it's good because it's the pickup truck. And that all being said, let's set off. As you can see, we are setting off here in the base model Tacoma, and let's cross our fingers that I don't run out of gas. I think this is like the funniest thing ever that happens on the channel. And no, we will not be drag racing this copy here in the Tacoma. But setting off, let's talk about the road noise and the ride quality. So first off, from a ride quality perspective, it actually rides really smooth, and a big part of that is the fact that it has such small wheels, and it's got a decent amount of sidewall on the tires, so when you go over stuff, it doesn't really upset it. And the suspension on the Tacoma is actually pretty good, especially in this baseline package. I feel like this is kind of more tuned for the road, so it's smooth. And then from a road noise perspective, I can hear a little bit of noise from the tires, but it's very, very minimal. There's a little bit of wind noise again, but it's minimal. So I would rate this at average from a ride quality perspective, and then also from a road noise perspective. And then we'll be getting our turn up here in just a second, just to kind of see how the steering and handling is with the Tacoma. So yeah, getting our turn right here. Steering's very light. The truck definitely feels small and nimble, and it's, I mean, it's really easy to turn in, and you, like I said, you can definitely feel the size of this truck. You can definitely feel that this is a smaller sized truck. And we're gonna get past this little slow zone right here, and then I'll get back with you guys with the acceleration. And don't worry, I will use the ECT power button, and we will see if that is real or if people were just trolling me in the comment section. We're just going over these train tracks. I just pushed the ECT power button and see how it goes. Acceleration's pretty good. I mean, it's just like all the other Tacomas. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that button off now, and I'm gonna press it again. Okay, maybe I'm crazy, but I'm not really sure. I'm gonna press it again. I'm not really sure if I'm noticing a difference, so I don't know. Again, maybe I'm crazy, maybe there's something wrong with me and I just can't feel anything, but like, I don't really notice a difference between that being on and that being off. And there's probably a pretty big chance that I just made myself look like an idiot in front of tens of thousands of people on YouTube, but that's pretty much the story of my life. And let's get into starting things up with this base model Tacoma. So first off, from an exterior aesthetics perspective, other than the wheels, I feel like it's a good looking truck for a base model truck. And then from an interior perspective, I mean, it's a base model truck. It kind of has what you expect, but the fact that it has the added safety tech, I think that's a huge benefit. The dual zone climate as well. It's got a pretty nice infotainment system. Again, for being a base model truck, it's pretty well rounded. And so as like an overall package at $33,000, almost $34,000, I feel like this Tacoma SR is a really good value. And so if you're kind of shopping the market and you just want a truck to do truck stuff and you don't want something that's crazy fancy, you want something that's reliable, that gets pretty good fuel economy for a truck and is not going to break the bank, then that's where I think this SR Tacoma really shines. And literally all you have to do is just buy a set of aftermarket tires and wheels for this truck, and it would be a really good looking truck. And I mean, depending on where you live will determine what you get. Like if you live here in Utah, then just do like a set of 17s for the wheels, like off-road type wheels, and then just get some off-road tires, Toyos, whatever brand you prefer, and put that on this truck, and you would absolutely love the look of it. And that's the SR Tacoma. Now that is going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 Tacoma SR. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Toyota here in Murray for giving me some time with this base model Tacoma. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.